Hi, my name is Jardy Butu, and the resource I chose to do my social justice technology project on is called A Pathway to Equitable Math Instruction. And the reason why I chose this particular resource is because, I saw the title math and just like just like previewing it, um, I saw that this was I saw that this was mainly at the secondary level. I mean, it was only for middle school, but I'm thinking of I'm open to like teaching either middle school or high school, so I felt like this resource would still be helpful for me, whatever grade, whichever one I wanted to pursue. So I felt like it would still be helpful either way. And basically, when it comes to social justice in general, students today, um, they're just aware. They're aware of like issues today in the sense that they might not be fully educated, but like they hear about like stuff going on, like either through their parents, um, peers, social media, etc. Like a big one was the whole Derek Chauvin case. I think that's a really big thing that most people are talking about today. And I feel like at such a young age, like some people might not feel comfortable, voicing their opinions on it. But I think like integrating issues within a teaching curriculum, it helps students take action and feel more comfortable speaking up for themselves and people they work with pertaining to issues like these. And about a pathway to equitable math instruction itself, it's an integrated approach to mathematics that centers Black, Latinx, and multilingual students in grades 6 to 8, so the middle school level. It addresses barriers to math equity. It aligns instruction to grade level priority standards, offers guidance and resources for educators to use as they plan their curriculum, and it also allows them to continually self-reflect as they try to develop an anti-racist math practice. So I feel like for me, um, I feel like this kind of relates a lot because, you know, um, I'm African American, so um, I was once a black student, and now I'm gonna become a black educator. And I think I mentioned this many times in the discussion post, like every week. Like last semester, I student taught at a high school, and like the major demographic of the students were black and Latinx students. So and most of the and my internship was remote, so it was really hard to engage the students, like for me personally. So I feel like, this could have been one way, me being educated on issues like this definitely could have been one way to engage the students, like knowledge I had about this, but yeah, just for the future, it could definitely help, with whatever discipline, well, not discipline, I'm going into math, um, but whatever like demographic of students I have. I feel like this, being knowledgeable, could definitely help, all students, if I'm knowledgeable in this field. So there are five goals, that this website had, and they're called, five strides on the path to math equity. The first stride is dismantling racism in mathematics instruction. So basically, this focuses on exercises for educators to reflect on their own biases to transform their instructional practice. The second stride is fostering deep understanding. So these are methods for deepening content understanding and relevance through crafted math discussions. The third stride is, creating conditions to thrive. So these are environments and practices that support students' social, emotional, and academic development. The fourth stride is connecting critical intersections. So this focuses on the interconnectedness of English language learning and the development of mathematical thinking. The fifth stride, is sustaining equitable practice. So this focuses on coaching structures that support math educators in their ongoing centering of equity principles. And now, on the technology integration aspect. So basically, there's not really like resources, there's not really like, activities, resources that this provides students to use. It basically It's basically for educators. It basically provides them with strategies that they can utilize in their when they're in a math setting. So basically, these are in the forms of webinars and PDF versions. They focus on the 5 strides on the path to math equity. So and each of them are in their separate webinar or PDF version. Like they had webinars on this, like in October, but they recorded it and it's on the website, and as well as PDF versions of the 5 strides. They go really in depth, and those have their own PDF versions as well. And these 5 strides, they mainly help guide educators in ways they can create equity for diverse students. And these next 2 slides, what I put like for each of them, like I put an example of of things I found useful in pertaining to each of the strides. So that's mainly what this website like focused on. So but I didn't go over everything because it was so in depth, but I went over stuff that I found interesting either through the webinar or PDF version. So for the first stride, something I found interesting was that it offered a calendar of guiding questions that teachers should be thinking about each month pertaining to social justice in the math classroom. So for example, in November, the question that teachers should be thinking about is, how am I authentically including Black, Latinx, and multilingual students? And a suggestion included learning about authentic and cultural ways of teaching and learning that represents the students in the classroom. The second stride, something I thought was useful, was that it provided an Equitable math discussions activity template, and this template helps teachers prepare their lessons, anticipate student strategies, and reflect upon their teaching strategies. So for the reflecting portion, a question on the example that helps teachers teachers can ask themselves is, why do we as math teachers see this as an absolute correct approach? So many of the time, like students will find that teachers want one way to arrive at a solution, and this kind of frustrates students because they could have arrived at a solution another way, and because the teacher thinks they're right, they might take points off because they might not like their students not using the method the teacher taught to arrive at an answer. Alright, so the third stride is creating conditions to thrive. So this provides strategies to support English language learners. So examples including connecting symbols with words, providing visuals, creating vocab banks, having them use sentence frames, and allowing small group discussions. The fourth stride focus. Something I found useful is that it provided examples of standards learned in grades 6 to 8 with sample problems and common examples of correct ways of student thinking along with misconceptions. So in grade 6, the math standard 6 RPA1, this standard focused on ratios and their relationships. So, and it provided a sample problem with ways students thought, correct ways and misconceptions. And the fifth stride is sustaining equitable practice. This provides suggestions about how to build student learning partnerships with students. An example that they gave was gathering feedback from students about their experience in the classroom. The highlights of this website is that it's very informative. Basically, it gives teachers ways to make mathematics equitable for all students, and how they can practice anti-racist practices in their classroom, and it gives reasons why. And then the website is easy to navigate, so it's easy to usually find all the resources, and all the resources are free, so you don't have to pay any money. I think some pitfalls of this website would be like no samples are provided. So like not like a teacher, like they're saying these strategies are great, but I didn't see any teacher like say that, I had a good or bad experience using these strategies, or like they didn't show like a video of the teacher using these strategies in the classroom. So like these strategies sound great, but it would have been nice to hear an experience or actually see it being implemented, so that I would know how to approach it in my classroom in the future. And also the strategies are only given at the middle school level and not the high school level. So, and like I might want to teach high school, so I thought it'd be helpful to have some at the high school level. Um, for my opinion, it's overall a great resource for math instructors to utilize. It helps them gain a better perspective on how diverse students think mathematically and comes up with strategies to support them learning the math content. And also, it's helpful that teacher can view videos and PDFs at their own time, and they don't need a set schedule to view it because I know they can get really busy. And just some questions I have for you. Can you think of ways how this website can help all secondary math educators, like those at the high school level as well? Because, like I said, that was like one of the only pitfalls I had. And pertaining to your math education experience, did you ever feel boxed in by your teacher in a particular strategy? And like what I mean by this is, did you, did she want you to, did he or she want you to use a certain way to arrive at an answer, and then you found it another way, so this created like conflict or made you get a bad grade on an assignment or something? And then the third one is, what stride on the path to math equity do you find to be the most important and why? And these are just some sources that I use. It's the Gonzalez text on page 210, and then this is the Equitable Math website. And that's my presentation. And thank you so much for watching.